Now we're going to talk about the new updates to the Michigan cottage food laws. We can now sell on the internet and through mail order and through food delivery providers. They are really some good updates, in my opinion. This is MCL section 289.4102 amended. This section takes effect March 24th of 2026. This means that you have a good month to work on your website, do some updates, get your products, at least get your name out there, because these laws actually allow you to sell from your website. But we'll get into that. We are going to go through this amendment line by line, and then in between that, I will explain what I am reading. Now, this is not legal advice. This is my opinion simply from reading the laws that are sitting right in front of me. When this video is uploaded, the actual amendment will be pinned in the comments as well as in the description. It will be a PDF document, I believe, so you'll be able to see it, but it takes you right to the Michigan legislature page. So this is not my private document. This is a document from the state of Michigan. Right now, we are talking about the state of Michigan's changes, but we will work our way into the changes that are taking effect or have recently taken effect in other states. And we'll talk a little bit about farm stands and how the Cottage Food Act and the farm stands work together. You have to beware and make sure that you're following both sets of rules. It's very important that you follow both sets of rules. 289.4102 amended cottage food operation exemption from licensing and evaluation provisions, requirements, registration program, MSU Product Center. So section 4102, number 1, a cottage food operation is exempt from the licensing and evaluation provisions of this act. That's the rest of the act. This exemption does not include an exemption from the adulteration of other standards imposed in this section or under this act, or both, and does not limit the ability of the department to take appropriate enforcement actions of applicable violations as described in section 5101. This subsection does not require a cottage food operation to meet standards contained in 21 CFR Part 110 or the Food Code. Got it? Got it. Now, let's start off with number 2. Cottage food products must be prepackaged and properly labeled before sale. Number 3, a cottage food operation shall place on the label of any food it produces or packages the following information. One of the following as applicable. The old way, the name and address of the business of the cottage food operation. You already had to do that, name and address. But what's new is that the name, telephone number, and registration number issued under subsection 8 of the business of the cottage food operation. Subsection 8, we're going to get down there because we're only up here at subsection 1. Under subsection 8, you will be able to put your name and your phone number and a registration number as opposed to your address on your labeling. You also need the name of the cottage food product. You need the ingredients of the cottage food product in descending order of predominance by weight. You already needed that. The net weight or net volume of the cottage food product, you already needed that. If any nutritional claim is made, appropriate labeling as specified by federal labeling requirements. The following statement printed in at least equivalent of 11-point font size in a color that provides a clear contrast to the background. The statement that you have to put is made in a home kitchen that has not been inspected by the Michigan Department of Agricultural or Rural Development. Those things were already the rules, guys. Except as otherwise provided in this section, a cottage food product must be sold directly from the cottage food operation to the consumer. Sales by consignment or at wholesale are prohibited. Prohibited means you can't do it. You can't bake and consign, and you can't bake and sell wholesale. That's a whole different set of licensing and requirements. I am sure that I have seen plenty of people doing this. It was already prohibited. It's still prohibited. Watch your back. This is a new change right here. This one is a big one. A cottage food product may be sold by the internet or mail order, or may be delivered to a consumer through a third-party food delivery platform if the cottage food operation provides the opportunity for a consumer to directly interact with the cottage food operation before the cottage food product is sold. That's it right there, y'all. We can now sell on the internet and through mail order and through food delivery providers, meaning you can package your cottage food items, your breads, your jams, whatever it is, and you can use Uber Eats. You can use DoorDash, as long as there is a way for your consumer to directly act with you before purchasing your product. We're going to get into that a little more later. But again, you have now 30 days to get this together and be ready. A cottage food product sold by the internet or mail order or delivery through third-party delivery platform must be sold or delivered only to the consumer in this state. Okay, so we can deliver now, but we can only deliver here, wait a minute, and here. We got the mitten and the rabbit. You can't go over here to Indiana. You can't go over here to Ohio. You can't be up here in Chicago. We can sell within the state of Michigan, and that is major, especially since now it can be a mail order. It can be a DoorDash. You just have to figure out your packaging and make sure that you work that packaging into your pricing and that you're shipping fresh items. Now, under 4A, this is where we talk about direct interact with. Direct interact with includes either face-to-face meeting or a virtual meeting. We can meet with the customers virtually. More on that later. B, now they're going to explain to us what virtual means. A virtual meeting includes, but is not limited to, a meeting in which communication occurs electronically in a manner that permits two-way communication so that participants can be seen and heard, or be heard by all parties to the communication. Seen and heard, or heard by all parties. That is self-explanatory, guys. All you have to do is set something up on your website with a calendar or the contact us. Allow that customer to be able to click on that link, either set up a date, send you an email where you can contact them back. You jump online and you have this face-to-face where you're either seen and heard or you're just heard. You can do Zoom, Skype, whatever platforms you use. You don't have to show your face because it says seen and heard or heard by all parties. The main thing is you have to be able to communicate and your customer must be able to communicate back. It's a two-way communication. I personally use a company called ZOHO, and I use ZOHO Meet. It is included with my ZOHO One subscription, so there's no extra paying. I can set up a quick meeting, meaning that if I get an email, there's a button right there that I can click where I can reach out and start a meeting immediately. So I'll put a link to ZOHO and its products down in my description, but let's keep going. Virtual meetings, y'all, big update. Number five, except as otherwise provided in this subsection, the gross sales of cottage food products by a cottage food operations must not exceed $50,000 annually until October of 2026. If the cottage food operation sells cottage food products at a price of $250 or more per unit, the gross sales of the cottage food product by the cottage food operation must not exceed $75,000 annually until October 2026. Okay. We went from $25,000 to $50,000. But if you sell a product as a unit, that one product is $250. You sell that product to a consumer, not to several consumers. So you can't have a $50 product that you sold to multiple people to equal $250. You have to have a $250 product sold to one person. Your annual can go up to $75,000 in the year. The rule allows them to update this every year, but they have to use these cost factors. They're going to use the pricing index. So they're not just going to pull this out of the air. It is structured to how they have to do it to create this math in order to go up. For the purpose of this subsection, the gross sales must be computed on the basis of the amount of gross sales on a per person basis. That's what I was talking about. So that $250 product is per person. You can't lump it into 5 people. Okay. Number 6. Cottage food products must be stored only in the primary domestic residence. You already knew that. That was already there. Number 8, if the MSU Product Center administers a registration program for cottage food operations, the records of which must be available to the department upon request, a cottage food operation may register with the MSU Product Center. So you don't have to. If and when MSU creates this product center, you have the option of registering with it. You don't have to. If you register with it, there are some couple of things that are going to happen. But number 1, you will be able to change your label on your product to show your name, your phone number, and your registration number, meaning you can leave off your address. You still have to put the product name, the ingredients, the weight, and all of that, but you do get to leave your address off. Now, here's more about the MSU Product Center. The MSU Product Center may do both of the following: issue a document that evidences the granting of registration and contain an identifying number unique to the cottage food operation. A cottage food operation registration number, same thing. They can collect a one-time registration fee not more than $50 to administer the registration program. This is going to be the one to watch. They can collect a fee one time, no more than $50. For me, one time means one time. It means life. This does not say one time annually. This does not say one time every 3 years. It says one time. So I'll be interested to see how that number 8B terms in the future. A cottage food operation that registers with the MSU Product Center under subsection 8 shall include on its label, what I just said, under subsection 3, the registration number issued to the cottage food operation. A cottage food operation that does not register with the MSU Product Center under subsection 8 shall include on the label described in subsection 3 the name and address of the cottage food operation. Yeah, they already said that. Number 10, information obtained under subsection 8 is exempt from disclosure under the Freedom of Information Act. That means that if and when MSU creates this product center, you have the option of registering your cottage food operation for not more than $50. If you register, you can now label your products with your company name, phone, and your phone number and your registration number. If you register with the MSU Product Center, the information that they collect in order to give you that registration is exempt under Freedom of Information Act. So that means that the MSU will not be adhering to FOIA requests. But all in all, I think that these are really good changes in the right direction. Now, I also want to give credit where credit is due. I first heard about the update changes on TikTok by a creator named Louise, Louise. Louise explained that she did a petition to have some updates made. And I don't know if I ever saw her petition as a Michigan person. She wasn't someone that I follow, but I'm from Michigan. She came across my For You page and she gave a breakdown of this. when I went to look up what she was talking about, because of course, Michigan cottage food law, I was able to find all of this. So Miss E. Louise is over on TikTok. Go over there and follow her. She's on Facebook. I don't see her anywhere on YouTube. But you go over there, you follow her and tell her thank you. Her and any other farm or anybody else in Michigan that took part in helping get these changes made, because these changes affect all of us, and they're going to improve the climate for all of us. So Miss E. Louise, I don't want to put your picture on my camera because I didn't ask your permission. But again, she's over on TikTok. Go over there and follow her. And when you go to TikTok, go to her bio and go to her website, because she is a cottage food baker. Make sure y'all check her out. Now, back to this. For Michigan, that's it, y'all. The new Michigan cottage food laws take effect March 24th, 2026. These are amendments. They have changed or offered an, I'm not going to say changed, they offered an additional option for product labeling of the operation. You now have the option of putting your name and phone number if and when the Michigan Product Center is created and you register. You now have the ability to go from $25,000 annually to $50,000 and even $75,000 if you are able, or if you have a product that is $250 or more. You also have the option now to sell online and through the mail, statewide, Mitten, Rabbit, and use third-party food delivery services. Now, what I want to talk to you about is, if you are not in Michigan, and you have not been paying attention to the changes that have been going on, we're wondering if any of these changes or anything close has taken place in your area. All you have to do is a Google search, cottage food law updates. This is how I did it. I did cottage food law updates 2024 to 2026, all states, pending and future. That brought me up a list of all of these different things that are going on. I just read to you what Michigan has. Texas has something called SB 541, and they are raising their sales cap to $150,000. It allows direct sales, selling to stores. Wow. Texas, y'all doing it over there. If y'all in Texas, y'all better go look up what's going on in y'all area. Illinois had a 2024 update, and which allows mobile farmers markets and registration in adjacent counties. It requires a $50 fee and a food protection manager certification. So Illinois, that was in 2024. If you weren't aware of it, go check it out and then open that link up and see what else Illinois has. New Hampshire has a HB 304/150 in 2025. It allows commercial kitchen equipment and QR codes on label instead of ingredients list. Oh, that's nice, New Hampshire. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna have to check on that one. Because I like QR codes. Now, Minnesota has HF 2446, which shipping permitted starting in August of 2027 with a simplified $30 annual fee. Minnesota says you can ship. Now, I don't know if that means you can ship out of state or ship within Minnesota. So if you're from Minnesota, look up your cottage food laws. The 2024 to 2026 trends when it comes to cottage food: 9 states, California, Iowa, Montana, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Utah, Wyoming, Texas, and Tennessee now allow potentially hazardous items like cream cheese frostings, custards, or cheesecakes in home kitchens. Digital sales: almost all states now permit online ordering and third-party delivery. And the regulatory relaxation: several states are moving toward food freedom models that remove caps and allow most non-meat items. So again, if you are wondering if there are any changes to your state's cottage food laws, look it up. All you have to do is do a search. And Don't read the first thing that you see unless it has some kind of reference to it. Me just saying, telling you that Texas has raised its cap to 150 is not good enough. You now need to take that Texas, click on the link or copy that whole first sentence and research it till you get to Texas's page, Texas's official page where that information is. Now let's talk about farm stands and the cottage food law, because this is where there's always a little bit of confusion. Cottage food says that you can sell these items, and we now can sell them under these different formats. Your farm stand is completely different. What you can put in your farm stand are the items from your cottage food, from the cottage food operation, but there are other things that you need to be aware of in that farm stand. Now, I don't know about everywhere else, but in Michigan, one of the things that we have to look out for is that your farm stand, and I think I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this because we really have to dig into this farm stand thing. My name is officially Fran. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now. I don't even know how to stop the doggone live. Oh, in stream. Bye-bye.